want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need: Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Hello everybody, and welcome to tonight's coverage of the second season of the NASCAR C Maconi Setup Shop Fix Series. This evening we are excited to bring you top split racing action from the weekly Strength of Field race from the recreated Dover Speedway in Dover, Delaware. Maconi Entertainment is here to bring you action from all types of racing, including the weekly Fast Fridays series. No matter what you are racing, we can bring the action to life. My name is Jake Reeves, and joining me in the booth is Nick Stein with Bradley Cooper working the controls as our producer, using cameras provided by Dougie Beard. And Nick, this track right here, Dover, has got a lot of history. It's got a lot of tradition. Tell the folks all about this, because me and you was talking about this, and this is one of your favorite tracks.
Oh yeah, you said it best. Dover is by far one of my favorite tracks to race. I love this place. It's just, as you said, got so much character. It's one of those tracks where you gotta drive it. You gotta drive the track and not the car. These guys are definitely gonna have to worry about some tire wear tonight as well, with Dover being a concrete track. So keep an eye on those tires. Of course, it is only a 50-lap event tonight, but still, you got to watch those tires, especially with how tight this fixed setup can get. And then, of course, you just, man, yeah, like I said, you got to drive the track and not the car, and tonight's going to be a fun one.
For those of you who have missed our first few weeks of Strength of Field race coverage, this is iRacing's version of the cream of the crop, where all the top drivers expect to compete not only for race wins, but for division championships and for the overall title of the series. And looking at the point standings right now, Dean Brummett and Jacob Schneider on top of those points. Got John Hall and Dakota Long. They're going to be sitting in the 3rd and 4th spots respectively in the points. You look all the way down here around the 9th spot. That's where we're looking at a sponsored driver for the Maconi Setup Shop, Ryan Andrew, comfortably inside the top 10, trying to see if he can hold on to it. And another sponsored driver with the likes of Joey Masevich also up here, sitting in 11th, about 10 points behind Brandon, I believe that is Chulampoko. I believe that's the name. I'm probably messing that one up, but he is about 10 points behind him. So hopefully he'll be able to try to jump him here in this race. And here we go. Looks like we are getting gridded up, ready to rock and roll here this evening. And one of those drivers that I mentioned that's in the fight inside the top 10, Ryan Andrew, is on the pole with Dean Brummett going to start his outside. He is the point leader coming into tonight's race. Ethan Workman will be sitting in 3rd with Daniel Mosteller in that 4th spot. Dale Tanhart will be in that 5th spot with Junior Borabima in the 6th spot. Jacob Schneider, talked about him, 2nd in the points, sitting in 7th with Corey Burke sitting in 8th. Joey Vasevich is going to start 9th. Right beside him is going to be Brian Smith.
Starting at 11th positions tonight, it's going to be the 22 truck of Dalton Randolph with Vincent Getchy, I think that's how you say that. Starting in 12th position with Jake D. Collins in 13th. Jeffrey Maconi going to be starting in 14th position tonight with Matthew David Wood starting 15th. Vitor A. Tonini, I think that's how you say that. I'm going to be screwing up a lot of names tonight. Is going to be starting in 16th position with Vince Harley in 17th. Chad Hillman's going to be starting in 18th tonight with 19th position going to Nathan Meyer, and then Joey Stone starting in 20th.
Yeah, and a couple of these other guys back here, Matt Martin back here, as well as Jake Moore, Jesse Pettis, and Travis Gilbert. 24 drivers that's going to take the grid here in the top split race for the Maconi Setup Shop C Fixed Series. And, you know, Nick, you know, we talked about this, about the history of this track. A lot of drivers, a lot of big name drivers in the NASCAR side of things have won here at Dover. Most recently, one of the bigger names, I guess you could say, obviously, Martin Truex Jr. last season. But the king of Dover, Jimmy Johnson, won here 10 times. It's going to be a blast to see if any of these guys can maybe pull off some little Jimmy Johnson magic out here at the track. 50 laps, 50 miles. That's why they call it the Monster Mile right there, folks. 50 miles, 50 laps. Pit road speed limit's going to be 55 miles an hour. They're going to have 2 sets of tires. Got 1 green, white, checkered attempt. No fast repair on these trucks, and obviously a fixed racing setup on every single one of these trucks. These guys, they can make adjustments to the steering ratio. They can make adjustments to the wheel offset, and they can make adjustments to the brake bias. Everything else, strictly stock, what's on the truck. And here we go. Pace lights is off. They are coming into turn 3 and turn number 4, getting ready to let Barney wave that flag. And down goes the pace car. Leaves them in the hands of Ryan Andrew and Dean Brummett. See Barney holding the flag. Everybody's ready for him to wave it. Finally, he gets on it. As wow, Ryan Andrews going to get on the gas. Got tagged from the back end right on the start. But we are green here at Dover with Ryan Andrew down on the bottom and Dean Brummett stuck up on the top side.
They were attempting 3 wide there on the initial start. They sorted it out, though, going through turn 1 and actually already under caution.
Already under caution, as quick as anything right here. A bunch of guys back here in the back backing it down. Had a little bit of a stack up back here on the back. We'll just kind of see what happened right here, brought out this caution. Because it, you know, just kind of just like that. I mean, maybe somebody maybe stacked up, somebody maybe hit somebody in the back end. You already see some 3 wide action going on back here around the 5th spot. And then even try to go even farther back here. Yeah, a little bit of a tag right there. Got him in the back end. He went all the way down to the bottom of the racetrack. That's the 16 truck getting involved. That's Corey Burke. We talked about him a while ago. Sitting very good. I mean, he actually qualified 8th, so he done a fantastic job qualifying. Not able to get it done right here on the first lap of this race.
Yeah, that was just your big old checkup there in turn 1. You saw the 3 wide going into the entry of the 1, and he decided to check up, and of course that was the wrong decision. But should have a pretty clean truck. I don't think he has too much damage there on that 16, so not a lot of cars involved in that, nor is there a lot of damage, excuse me. But we'll have to see how the rest of this race plays out. But for now, a very, very interesting start there.
Yeah, very interesting start, and you know, we saw it right there live right there. I mean, well, on the replay we saw it. They were going 3 wide right off the bat. I mean, track position is going to be 100% key here. But you know, Nick, about this right here, this track right here straight up eats the tires up. As you mentioned earlier, this track straight up eats the tires up. These guys, they want to try to get as much track position as they can and then try to get up there and hopefully hold on to it. But I mean, these guys, I mean, they are going for it. They know this is a 50-lap race. It is very, very quick. This thing can go by in the blink of an eye.
Oh yeah, this track is an absolute cheese grater on the tires. It's concrete and it's very, very a very hot track actually as well. Looking at the weather, 107 degrees track temp right now, so these guys are definitely feeling the heat. And these tires are definitely going to be feeling that heat as well. So as you are 100% right in saying that track position is absolutely key. As Miles the Monster, he's already claimed his first victim, and he is here for more as well. So these guys need to start getting in line and figuring out how to save some of these tires if they want any chance of doing good here.
And another thing about this track, you know, for some of our NASCAR fans that have watched numerous races at, say, Bristol, they've heard it before. You know, that's like a 15-second roller coaster ride around Bristol. Well, folks, you can get that same roller coaster ride here at Dover, just a little bit longer, obviously, about a half a mile longer than Bristol, obviously. But I mean, these guys, when they go down into the corner, and I've done it before as well as you probably have too, Nick, dive it straight down in the corner. It's just like the whole truck or car or whatever you're driving. It just feels like it just bottoms out when it slams down into the track. I mean, it just slams down in there. But I mean, I'll come up with an analogy here in a minute for just how hard it slammed down. But I'm telling you, it slams it down very hard, and these guys are gonna have to be very careful with that. Try to keep these trucks straight. But wow, I mean, Ryan Andrews still holding on to the pole spot from where he started, still holding on to the lead. Brummett's starting right beside of him. Mosteller will be sitting in the third spot. Actually got a jump over Workman right there. So Workman's going to be on the outside instead of the inside right here on this restart. Jacob Schneider, check him out. He is second in the points coming into the night. Back there in that third row in sixth, but the pace car is off. Getting back in that restart zone, and here we go. Ryan Andrews going to jump away, jump straight up in front of Dean Brummett. Going to leave Mosteller down on the bottom side, but now they're going to single file out up at the front. But here we go, 3 wide back here in the back of the pack once again.
3 wide once again further back in the field. They keep it clean this time and going down into turn 3. We got a battle for the lead. Dean Brummett to the inside of Ryan Andrew for our lead. Coming up off of turn 4, Ryan Andrew keeping it up on that wall. He's going to keep it out of the wall, get that run off the corner, and he is going to clear Brummett down into turn 1.
Yeah, Andrew got a hell of a run right there coming off of turn 4 and was able to get clear, but Brummett is trying to fill that mirror full and try to disrupt Ryan Andrew any way possible that he can. But he better watch out because Mosteller is all the way up his tailgate, damn near shoving him around the racetrack as they come back to the line right here. This will be lap 7 of 50. And check out Workman back here. He's holding up with a gaggle of cars. He's holding up Schneider, Brian Smith as well. So a lot of great battles going on. Looks like the top 6 trucks have broken away from the pack right here.
Yeah, pretty good breakaway here. This is going to be where our battle for position is, as these guys are starting to settle into this race, get the tires worked up a little bit. I think this is going to be where these guys start to calm it down a little bit, start saving some tire, because right about here, lap 8, about lap 15 or so, is when we're going to see who has the tires on the truck still, because we've said it multiple times tonight, Jake, this track is an absolute cheese grater on the tires, so these guys really need to watch how they're driving these tires tonight.
And these trucks, I mean, you just, I mean, I've drove these trucks numerous times. You want to just go around this place full throttle, Nick, and you know as well as I do, you want to go around it full throttle because of the horsepower and the aero that these trucks have. Obviously not like an Xfinity car, obviously not like a next-gen car. These trucks turn basically on a dime, so you want to be able to try to wound that engine up. You want to be able to try to put your foot down on the throttle and get it going. So this right here is a big time test of man and machine, or virtual machine, however you want to put it. But right now, Ryan Andrew still showing the way, still making it look easy up here. He's actually starting to grow that lead just a little bit over Dean Brummett. And now Brummett actually may be holding up Mosteller just a little bit for this second spot.
Watch for a move going into turn 3 from Daniel Mosteller here, as coming up off the corner, Mosteller gets a little bit of a run, peeks his nose to the inside. Does that allow him to get the move off into turn 3? No, he's going to sit back for one more corner, but one point you made is, yeah, you may be able to go full throttle here at Dover, but you're only going to be able to do that for a couple of laps before this truck starts to tell you, no, I don't feel like doing this anymore. So, yeah, these guys, this truck can definitely do what you think it can do, but especially at Dover, Dover's one of those tracks you don't want to mess with it.
And honestly, right now, with Ryan Andrew putting down the lap times that he is putting down, and it looks like Brummett's starting to stack the field up, do you think Andrew may be going up there and just burning his tires up just a little bit too much? Because he's growing this lead very much right here. I mean, do you think he might be burning his tires up just a little bit too much too early?
I mean, I could see it happening, but Dover is... I've raced this track many times in many different cars, and Dover is a weird track in that you could be saving your tires and pushing at the same time and grow a lead like Ryan Andrew is right now. And that seems to be what he's doing, is he's kind of backing off the corners. I've been riding on board with him for the last few laps, and he's just kind of been backing it up a little bit into the corners, trying to save a little bit of that right front end. That's a very hard art to learn at Dover, and as he said, Jimmy Johnson in real life, 10 wins here. I think he's got that mastered pretty well. So Dover's one of those tracks where you can kind of just chill out and push at the same time. It's really weird.
And right behind him, I mean, this field is getting big time spread out from about the 12th spot on back. I mean, everybody right now, basically the top 12, they're not within striking distance, I guess you could say, of the leader. I mean, you go from Ryan Andrew all the way back to 12th, about 3 seconds. But then there's a 2-second gap all the way back to Joey Masevich sitting back there in that 13th spot, riding on board right here with Jeffrey Maconi, the boss man of Maconi's setup shop. And see him right here. He's the number 7 car sitting in 8th right now, started 14th. And folks, you know, something about this right here with official racing, these guys actually have iRating on the line as well. Granted, they are racing for points, but they are racing for iRating as well. So you want to be able to try to finish ahead of your car number to try to gain iRating. And every iRacing driver has a certain number of iRating, and my iRating is, well, compared to some of these guys, it's probably trash, to be honest with you, Nick. But I mean, you know, that's one thing that these guys are racing. They're racing for the iRating. They're also racing for the points as well. So we got a battle right here for that 6th spot. Brian Smith up on the top side. There's Junior down there in the 6. He lifts just a little bit, lets Brian go. But up front, Ryan Andrew continues to lead and almost putting a whole second on Dean Brummett in this 2nd spot.
Yeah, that gap is starting to close up a little bit as Dean Brummett's starting to pull some time back in, but for now, Ryan Andrews still holding that death grip on the lead he's had since the beginning of this race. But you were saying it best. You got to say, I don't know what I'm saying here, but Dean Brummett's still trying to pull in Ryan Andrew, and that gap is below a second now, sitting at about 0.8.
And, you know, one thing, you know, I was going to ask you about this, Dean. I mean, obviously, they can make it on fuel because it's a 50-lap race. Obviously, these trucks, these drivers, they can make it. Do you pit? I mean, granted, you know, we're looking at 20 of 50 laps right here. Do you pit at any point in this to maybe try to pull some kind of strategy, or is it just save like hell and just hope like hell you make it to the end?
Well, I mean, considering these guys have already fallen off over a second on the tires, if they get a late caution, do not be surprised to see some guys come down and just take 4 fresh tires and no fuel, because you're right, you can make it on fuel this race, but the tires, they are already screaming for mercy. They want these drivers want fresh tires right now, because these tires are absolutely hurting already, because Ryan Andrews' last lap was a 24.3. If you take a look at his fastest lap overall, a 23.1, so 1.2 seconds of fall off in just over 20 laps is absolutely wild.
Yeah, that is absolutely wild. And another thing that's absolutely wild is Jacob Schneider back here really putting the pressure on Ethan Workman for that 4th spot. Brian Smith also right behind Schneider, maybe pushing him along. Smith actually gets into the fence coming off of turn number 4. Wow, these guys, I mean, Nick, you called it right there. These guys, I mean, you talked about the tires screaming. These guys have got a handful back here. I mean, Brian, he almost got into the fence off of turn number 2. I mean, but that turn 4 seems like it's just a little bit harder to get off of than the turn 2 is here at Dover.
I mean, I have more difficulties getting off of turn 2 than turn 4, but I think it's more of a driving style thing here. This track is so aggressive with the banking changes going into and coming out of the corners that it is really, really difficult to do the same thing. As a little bit of contact there between Jacob Schneider and the 51 there of Brian Smith, as they're side by side now for position. This is for 5th position. Jacob Schneider on the outside, gonna get squeezed as Brian Smith gets a little bit loose off the corner, still even going down into turn 1.
Fantastic racing, and Brian Smith able to take the spot, but Schneider does not want to give it to him. Here he comes back on the inside, has to back away. Wow, I honestly thought that there might have been a crossover move to try to jump back to his inside. But Brian Smith able to capitalize on Schneider's mistake and bounce up here into the top 5. Maybe trying to look a little bit farther ahead and try to get up here with Workman, try to jump up another spot. See a couple of other drivers back here in the back as well battling. Look back here at Dale Tanhart back here. He has got a rear view mirror full of Matthew David Wood all over his back bumper. And Matthew David Wood, he's the 23 truck. He's up here sitting in 11th, so this will be a good points day and a good iRating day. If he can jump up here in the top 10, he's probably got a good iRating day as it is right now. But he's looking pretty good right now, putting a lot of pressure on Tanhart back here for this 10th spot.
Yeah, that's the key to racing at Dover. You don't want to make a ton of dive bombs here. You want to put pressure on people in front of you. You want to pressure them into a mistake. That's how you make passes at Dover. And I was trying to make an earlier point about how difficult this place is to drive. I'll tell you why it's so difficult. I was talking about the transitions going into and out of the corner. Well, these guys definitely have a handful because as soon as you start coming up off the corner, that suspension's going to unload and it's going to get really, really light. And that's why these guys are getting so loose off the corners, because they're already getting the full throttle. And as soon as that suspension unloads and the truck starts to get really, really light, that tire is going to start spinning a lot faster. As we're looking for a move here, as Dale Tanhart gets to the inside there of Vincent Guicci. I think it's Guicci.
Yes, it's Vincent Guicci. I mean, he's going to slide right up in front of him. And then David Wood's going to see if he can try to jump down to the bottom. Guicci's, oh, wow, he chopped his nose, come down all the way right on top of him, almost put him on the apron. Wood's not going to be happy about that, as he's going to fight really hard down here on the bottom to not let Guicci get back in front of him. But Wood had to get out of the gas, let Guicci down. But do not think for one bit, folks, that he's going to forget about that. We'll check this out once again. I mean, check it out right here. There goes Tanhart. He jumps down to the bottom. Tanhart able to get a good run. He shoots by him right here coming off of turn 2. And then Guicci, he wants to get down. He wants to try to pin him down on the apron. And then watch this right here. Wood sends it in, and Guicci just comes straight down on him like he's not even there. I mean, spotter, truck low. I mean, what are you thinking right there, honestly? But here we go. These guys are still battling as now Woods jumped up to the top. Guicci goes down to the bottom. These guys are racing their tails off back here, and it's only for the 10th spot.
Yeah, that's just the beauty of C-Fix racing right here. Short races means high octane action here, and these guys are definitely putting on a show. Now that battle's calmed down, I'm looking back up front. Ryan Andrews put 1.7 seconds on Dean Brummett. That gap had come down quite a bit. It was sitting at about 0.6 of a second the last time we looked, and now look at that. It's almost an entire straightaway for the 3 truck of Ryan Andrews.
Yeah, he is straight up moving right now in that Maconi Setup Shop Chevrolet Silverado. I'm 100% behind the Maconi Setup Shop and behind the Chevy Silverados. I have one in the driveway. Matter of fact, I'm 100% Chevy lover. And folks, if you are not a Chevy lover, I don't know what to tell you. But, I mean, Ryan Andrew, you see it right there, currently first. The highest he's been is first. The lowest he's been is first. He has not even lost a spot. I mean, he started on the pole. He's led every single lap. I mean, he is showing them how to do it right here. And with these laps just winding down right here, Brummett's going to have to find something if he wants to try to get up here and challenge for this lead. Out of that, or he's praying that there's a caution that's going to be here in the near future.
Well, you know, the good old commentator's curse could rear its ugly head here soon, but the way these guys are racing and how clean it's been, I don't see that happening. But just we're looking at almost a battle for third here. It's a little bit of contact there, a little bit of a bump drafting. Gets to the inside of Daniel Mosteller goes Ethan Workman. Side by side for third position. Mosteller's going to let him have it through the corner, but he's going to get the run off the corner here. Or excuse me, that's Brian Smith, not Workman. But I thought he was going to get the run off the corner and get back to his inside, but Workman seems to be moving right now.
I'm
that's
telling
not
you,
Workman, that's Smith.
Yeah, I mean, Brian Smith started 10th all the way up to 3rd. And honestly, I mean, Brummett starting to kind of get back to Smith right here. Smith may not be able to catch Ryan Andrew right here in the closing laps of this race, but he can damn sure catch Dean Brummett. He is starting to reel him in and reel him in a hurry right now. As you can see, those lap times getting better for Brian. Brian actually ran a 24.8 that last lap. Brummett matched that lap time, but Brian has been putting down some more faster laps. So if Brian can keep this momentum and keep this speed that he is doing, started 10th up to 3rd, you see it right there, 24.8 this time around. Brummett got a 10th slower right there. So Brian trying to reel in this second place driver, which is Dean Brummett, the points leader coming into this evening.
I tell you what, Brian Smith, he's the fastest truck on track right now. He just ran an 8.73 compared to Dean Brummett's 9.20. And of course, Ryan Andrew, he just ran a 9.14. So it looks to me that Brian Smith is the fastest truck on track right now. He, as you said, he is not going to be able to catch Ryan Andrew, but I do think he can catch Dean Brummett. But you know that old saying, it's one game to catch someone, it's a whole different ball game to pass them.
Yeah, but we've already seen some contact be made out here, even on the start. Check this out back here in the back. A couple of drivers actually getting into the fence off a treacherous turn number 2. That's honestly, Nick, you was talking about earlier, turn 2. I hate turn 2 as much as I hate turn 4. I mean, I love this track. I love what it produces. I love the racing that it produces that you see live here on your screen. But these corners are just so hard to get off of. You see guys already slipping and sliding as they come off of turn 2, still battling for position back here. Up top, down low, in the middle, running all the way up against the fence. They're running anywhere they can find to try to get some grip out here this evening.
Yeah, that's the fun part about Dover. There may not be much grip here, but if you go to any of the lines where there's rubber, as we actually have a battle for second position right now, Brian Smith just made an easy pass on Dean Brummett for second position, but here comes Brummett once again. He tried the up and under, but it doesn't look like it's going to work heading down into turn 1, and Brian Smith up into second position.
Brummett's going to have to try to figure out something, maybe find a way around Smith one more time right here in the closing laps of this race. Have to deal with a little bit dirty air. Brian actually gets into the fence going into turn 3. Might be able to help Brummett out, but Brian Smith, the hard charger, I guess you could say, of the field. There has been other guys that has advanced more spots than Brian has, but here in the closing laps of this race, he is the hard charger. I mean, at one point, Nick, he was back there in about the 6th spot, and then this is like a blink of an eye because lap times are so fast here. It's like a blink of an eye. He's sitting up here in 2nd and still running faster lap times than Ryan Andrew. I just don't think it's going to be enough time to catch him unless somehow or another we get a caution right here at the end of this thing.
Yeah, gap is 2.3 seconds as he was just a tiny bit faster that last lap, just over a half a tenth faster than Ryan Andrew. And you're 100% right. Unless there's a late caution here, there's no way Brian Smith can catch. But one thing I do know is that Ryan Andrew is incredibly quick on the short run as well as the long run. So even if we do get a late caution, I don't see a way in which Brian Smith can win this. So it looks all but set in stone for now for Ryan Andrew to win this S.O.F. C-Fixed race. But, of course, I've been proven wrong multiple times, and who knows how this race is going to end up.
I mean, and Brian's still in the 24.8s. Ryan actually, that last lap, hit a 25 flat. So 0.2 faster is Brian Smith, but as we mentioned, he's going to need the caution. He's going to need something. He's going to need Ryan Andrew to get bottled up behind some lap traffic, which he actually is catching some lap traffic. He's starting to catch the tail end of the field, which is Dalton Randolph. He is the last driver on the lead lap, so Andrew is catching him, but will he be able to catch him in plenty of time to maybe back him up and try to get Brian up there? Honestly, I think Brian might just be tickled to death with a 2nd place finish because he's done a fantastic job and pulling away from Dean Brummett at this point.
Yeah, he's putting on an absolute clinic now when it comes to long run pace, but that could be a possibility here for Ryan Andrew if he does happen to catch this lap traffic. He's coming up to 3 laps to go now, and the pace he's running compared to that lap car is about a half a second a lap slower. Make that 0.7 a lap slower there. So I do think Ryan Andrew will catch this lap traffic. It's just a matter of how much it's going to slow him up here.
Yeah, I mean, and we talked about how tight these corners is. I mean, he's coming to 2 laps to go. So Ryan Andrew, he maybe end up backing off just a little bit extra. I mean, obviously he wants to try to get around the lap traffic and try to go ahead and put another truck in between him and Brian Smith, but we'll see how he plays this right here. I mean, he's got a little bit of a gap. The gap's down to 1.4 seconds. So Brian is coming. You see him right there in the background on your screen. You see him right there. There is the battle for the lead right there. But I'm like you, Nick. I think it's just too little too late as he comes off of turn 4. Ryan Andrew led pretty much the whole race, has led the whole race as he comes up on the lap truck of Dalton Randolph. Randolph jumps to the top side, lets Andrew down on the bottom. 1 to go here on Maconi Entertainment, as Ryan Andrew looks like he has got this bad boy in the bag here tonight. Straight up taking the whole field to out back of the woodshed and showing them how to do it, giving the whole field a spanking here in Dover. Ryan Andrews going to win the race here this evening. Brian Smith will get 2nd. Brummett comes across the line. He will get 3rd. Mosteller was able to hold off Ethan Workman for 4th, and Workman rounds out the top 5. What a drive by the number 3 truck of Ryan Andrew.
Ryan Andrew may have put a spanking on the field tonight, as he said, but I got to give it to Brian Smith. He got that gap to almost under 1 second there at the end. So congrats to Brian Smith on that huge second place finish there. But of course, Ryan Andrew taking home the W tonight.
And Andrew's going to burn it down right here on the front straightaway, burn it down right there across the start finish line that he basically led for 50 laps, led the whole race, folks. And Andrew burning it down, as we mentioned. I mean, he ain't got to worry about those tires. Eddie Moore smoked them right here on the front straightaway. We'll get your results right here in just a second. But Ryan Andrew, fantastic job, able to pull it off. And even with the Maconi setup shop on the hood of the truck, with the Maconi C-Fix Truck Series, I mean, that basically just puts a cherry on top right there for that whole organization to get the win here this evening. But looks like we'll get you some results right here after a quick commercial break, or we're going to pull them up right now. Ryan Andrew, Brian Smith, we talked about Brian Smith. I mean, he closed it all the way down to a second, ran out of time. He will finish second. Dean Brummett gets third. Mosteller was able to hold off Workman for fourth. Workman gets fifth. Good points night for Jacob Schneider, also second in the points to Dean Brummett. Brummett will grow that lead ever so slightly over Schneider, but Schneider will get sixth. Got Junior Borbima will be in that seventh spot. Boss man Jeffrey Maconi from 14th up to 8th. How about Joey Stone? 20th up to 9th. Great run for the number 14 truck out here. And Dale Tanhart will round out the top 10.
Finishing in 11th place tonight, Matthew David Wood. After starting 15th, he moves up a few positions to finish 11th. Nathan Meyer finishing in 12th position after starting 19th tonight. He had another good night as well. Vincent Guedges finishes 13th tonight with 14th belonging to Travis Gilbert. Jesse Pettis is going to finish in 15th after starting 23rd tonight, so another good move up for that 21 truck. Chad Homan's going to be finishing in 16th tonight. 17th belongs to Vince Harley. Vitor Tonini finishes in 18th, with 19th belonging to Joey I'm not even going to attempt to say that last name. Finishing in 20th tonight is going to be Corey Burke, with Matt Martin finishing in 21st. Jake D. Collins finishes in 22nd, with Dalton Randolph finishing in 23rd. The only truck one lap down tonight.
Looks like we're probably going to go ahead and forego the commercials right here. The winner of the race, he's wanting to come in here and have a talk with us. How about this? Ryan Andrew, we mentioned it on the broadcast, just straight up took everybody out back of the woodshed and give them an old good old-fashioned spanking tonight. Ryan Andrew, how does it feel to win it here at Dover tonight?
And it feels great to win one of these races and do it on pace and just lead the whole thing. It's awesome. It was a good race.
And, I mentioned it, you led 50 laps, but, obviously Brian Smith was coming right there at the end of the race right there. Was you nervous about that at all? Because Brian was making up a lot of time. He was putting up 3/10 of a lap faster than you. Was you worried about that in any way, shape, fashion, or form?
Well, I was worried about it a little bit, and then I looked at the lap count and realized that he wasn't going to have enough time left, and I just had plenty to hold him off there. So it really started to fall off there at the end, but I already had such a gap that it didn't really matter.
Well, Ryan Andrew coming into tonight, ninth in the points, going to be able to jump up a couple of spots right here, I'm pretty sure, in the point standings. But Ryan, before we let you go, have you got anybody that you want to thank that made this possible tonight?
Well, I want to thank Maconi Setup Shop, and like half of the field was my teammates tonight, so I appreciate them too.
Always got to love the team. Well, Ryan Andrew, congratulations once again on the win, and best of luck to you for the rest of the season, buddy.
Yep, thank you. Have a good night.
That was Ryan Andrew, got the win tonight. And Nick, I believe we're going to bring in our third place finisher. Are you standing by with Dean Brummett?
Dean, you finished third tonight, and you looked like early you had the pace to keep up with Ryan Andrew there at the end, but it just looked like you may have burned your tires off a little bit. How are you feeling after that one?
I'll tell you what, it was kind of a surprise the way that the tires burned off. I practiced a bunch, and every practice that I did, it would get towards the last 20 laps of a stint, and the truck would start tracking loose. And tonight it was tight, tight, tight. I don't know if I had a weather difference. I don't know what was going on, but something obviously made for a tighter race truck. And I mean, not to take anything away from Ryan at all. I mean, he just absolutely just whooped on us, but had a chance to maybe try to get clean air early, and maybe that would have tracked me loose compared to what I had. But you know, I'm happy for that run, just for no other reason than kind of looking at how the point standings are stacking up with 2 weeks left. It makes me feel really good about what we've got with two good strength of field races left.
Well, heading next week into Auto Club, of course, you still got the entire week worth of officials to run this week. But what are you looking for in Auto Club? You just looking to kind of keep it going, keep this momentum up, or what's the plan?
Hey, just go out and have fun. I mean, that's the joy of it. At the end of the day, that's all you can hope to do. That's why any of us join. And I like being competitive, but definitely like having fun. And uh, like you said, I sit here and watch the whole week worth of officials, watching the standings, chewing my fingernails off every day. So uh, Auto Club will be a bunch of high strength of field races, and bunch of whole lot of drafting and a whole lot of tire conservation. But it's definitely a fun track, and once you get it figured out, and once you can really get the trucks to turn there, it's a blast.
Well, congratulations on the P3 tonight, Dean. Before we let you go, anyone you got to thank?
Yeah, definitely want to thank the delicious Broken Skull IPA on this beautiful 316 truck, and racecpi.com, iRacing, everybody who's been behind me this whole season, and just ready to end this season so I can spend some time with my very pregnant wife.
Well, congratulations on the P3 tonight. We'll go ahead and let you go celebrate, man.
Hey, thank you, buddy. Have a good one.
That was P3 right there with Dean Brummett. And, Nick, I mean, this right here, as you mentioned, this is one of your favorite tracks, one of my favorite tracks. It put on a hell of a show tonight. So your final take on this race, and then obviously next week with your, I guess, pre-week or pre-race thoughts of Auto Club going into next week.
Well, I mean, yeah, tonight was an absolute blast. It's pretty much everything we expected from Dover. We had some high octane action mid pack, and it ended up being part of a tire saving event tonight. Just everyone attempted to save tires and get that pace going up again. And of course, looking ahead to next week at Auto Club, probably one of my least favorite tracks to drive. I do not like Auto Club, but it'll be a good one to watch, I hope, as Auto Club is just one of those tracks that you can't not like watching races there.
Yeah, and it's very unfortunate that they are breaking the track down. Very unfortunate to see that, but we will have it live for you here on Maconi Entertainment. That is next week, week 11 at Auto Club, Monday, November 20th, 7:15 p.m. Eastern Time. And I believe that will wrap it up for us this evening. We would like to thank the race sponsor, Maconi Setup Shop, as well as our broadcast sponsor, Maconi Competizone. Calling the action tonight was myself, Jake Reeves, alongside Nick Stein in the booth with Bradley Cooper producing. Thanks to all of our viewers for watching tonight's racing action, and hope you will stay tuned to all of our social media pages for our next race. Thanks to the entire staff for their work in bringing this racing to you. This has been a production of Maconi Entertainment. We'll see you next time.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.